Hey guys, welcome back to the daily crypto market update. Again, thank you so much for all of the kind comments while I was traveling and your patience with me for shorter videos and just weird backgrounds. I'm finally home. Really need to sleep a lot more, but there's a lot to do. I'm just one of those people that I cannot look at my suitcase on the ground full of stuff in it. Like as soon as I travel and I get back home, like everything comes out. I put everything away. I drives me crazy, and it also makes me way more tired. But I'm also really excited to have some really good stuff from Bali. I actually got some really good coffee from this place. If you ever go, I think it's called 7 and 7 is the place where I got it. But of course, it's Balinese coffee. So I had some this morning, and it's really good. So let's talk about the crypto market and what's happening. I'm seeing a nice change in sentiment right now on X, but I'll get to that in a second. First, we need to talk about this over here on CoinGlass. Now, the last 24 hours, again, we're seeing so many more longs getting wrecked right now, which is crazy to me. Again, the last 24 hours, we saw what, almost 500 million. Well, let's just be exact, $461 million liquidated in longs. So what's going on? Well, I'm not going to say it's manipulation, and I'm definitely not going to say it's options expiries or whatever. Like, I know that there's a lot of options and there's a lot of pain points, all that stuff. Like, honestly, I feel like that's like a really cheap grab for people trying to make sense of what's happening. What's happening right now is that it's summer. August had a great all-time high at $124,000. If you can't really remember that, then that's sad because the market has stolen too much from you. And there are other charts that are still doing really well right now, which is crazy, like Pyth, which some of you are very kind to say like, hey, why don't you update this? Again, I'm trying. But yes, that one was insane with some really good news. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Altcoin season index, just so you guys know, we're actually like at 61. We're pretty high up, which seems insane given how badly alts are performing right now, especially with Bitcoin and Ethereum kind of being sluggish. But it's not really surprising either. Just because it's altcoin season doesn't necessarily mean that the market is bullish, just so you know. This index literally means that once it gets up into altcoin season, which is above 75, then that means 75% of the top 100 tokens, if I'm not mistaken, are performing better than Bitcoin. So while it should be a bullish thing, sometimes it's not really that bullish, if you know what I'm saying, if you kind of understand that. It sometimes means that Bitcoin's doing really bad. Everything else is doing really well, but not everything is like thriving together. The crypto market RSI heat map on the weekly time frame. I was just curious to look at this, and yeah, Pyth has had an amazing price change in 1 week, which means that weekly RSI has moved up a lot. But to be honest, the average RSI right now is almost smack dab in the middle at 50.87. Again, this is not saying that how do I want to phrase this? This is a great tool that you can use to figure out how overbought, how oversold the market is on a very zoomed out time frame like the weekly. So to me, this is actually a really good sign that no, we're not there yet. Yes, we're seeing a lot of these charts having pullbacks and things are falling down a bit this week, but we're also seeing other charts that are doing really well. Now, we need to go over here to TradingView to talk about the big guys, okay? The macros, all that fun stuff. BTC, there's a lot of drawings on here, so I actually want to just strip this away, go one by one. Let me, I really like that where it is. I want to start first with our trend line. Okay, so we have an overhead trend line that we saw a pierce of on Thursday, another Friday, actually yesterday, it opened above it, and then we lost almost 4% yesterday, which is a really disappointing close, to be honest. Like, I didn't think it would drop this much. I was leaning more bullish to see it break above overhead resistance. You guys already knew that. The other thing that's really not good is this old school support fan that's been in place since, drumroll please, September and October 2023. We saw it respected here and here. We saw it pierced a lot in April of this year, and unfortunately, it has pierced it yet again. So that's not great. The next level of support we have, if it were to dump immediately today, is like 81,000. No, that's not happening. No way. The other thing to keep in mind too is our 2020. Wow, we're in the future. 2025, the year 20,205. We are below our all-time high set back in January at 109,000. So that's not bad, but it certainly isn't that great considering the last time we got down here earlier this week, we saw a nice spring back up higher, but so much for that. The next level to watch is 100,000. I know you don't want me to say that. The other things to watch out for as well is that this 222 Fibonacci retracement from the 2021 high to the 2022 low, we do have a level of contention or like a sticky level, I guess you could say here at $103,000, which is almost not really that close. It's not overlapping per se, but it's around the 100,000 mark from the 2025 fibs. It's not a great feeling. It's not a good vibe. I understand. Trust me. But the reality is that from its top to its drop, Bitcoin is now down roughly 12%. It's bad, but it's not that bad, to be honest. I know it sounds really crazy to say it, but that's what I think. I still believe that the chart is macro bullish. The slow line continues to rip and roar higher and higher. Volume, of course, exceeded the moving average yesterday, but we're not seeing this yellow moving average going up higher. So that's really what we want to see. Yes, on balance volume is still very much trending down. It's bearish. On the weekly time frame, this is new. This is the first time we've seen the price tag or touch the TBO fast line, which is this thick green line right here. It's at, actually, it hasn't touched it yet, but it's really close. Oh, wait, no, it has. It has. Because the number here says 107,986. And the low here for this week is just below that level. So if any of you like a macro level, like a weekly TBO springboard bounce, when the price has a pullback to this thick green line, this would be an incredible entry. I still think that we're going to see BTC go up here. And actually, we just got our DCA order filled for my trade setup. I still think we're going to be going up higher. Just that's me, man. There's something else to share here over on the hourly. There is a new stop loss setting alert that fired about 11 o'clock or midnight last night for me. So this will be active for the next 48 hours over the weekend. Not really surprising to hear that, or rather to see it, but it's not that great. Now, I say this every single weekend because right now for me it's Saturday. The main thing to point out every single weekly close is to go to the CME. So it's BTC1 exclamation point, and this is showing us that our close on the day is at $108,000. So we want to see Bitcoin stay around here. We don't want to see it necessarily go lower, obviously, but if it opens on Monday lower, like at 106, then there's a very high potential for it to close the gap, which would be a bullish start to the week, which would be really good. Keep that in mind because we are going to look at Ethereum and Solana. Now, Ethereum is starting to look a bit weak for my liking. I don't like this. Let's take away a lot of stuff and just work backwards. For one, it has extremely short-term support that has been pierced and it got broken yesterday. I didn't catch this until just now because traveling, trying to make a video real quick. I'm not looking at all of my drawings. We have a much longer-term support line, but it's way lower, way lower. As you saw with the 2025 fibs, we have support down here at 4,100 again. I still think that Ethereum is doing well. I'm not really concerned about it too much. Again, it did tag and make a slightly higher all-time high at what 49.56 here on Binance. I mean, it's doing really well. Honestly, it is. Looking at the TBO and TBT divergence on the daily time frame. Yes, remember when I said, guys, watch out, like we have this TBT bearish divergence earlier in the week, and I said I don't like this, but I don't argue with it. So we should be expecting some sort of a pullback. Hopefully it's just minor. Here we are. The other not so great news in regards to the TBO is that Ethereum has closed inside of the daily TBO Cloud. Not good. So we've seen Bitcoin fall deep into its TBO Cloud. If we go back over here to the chart, I can show you. Whenever we see the price close inside of this green mass, the cloud, that's typically a sign that we're just going to keep going lower and lower and lower. And that's what we saw happen back on the 18th of August. It's just been a slow drag down. And anytime it was above, that's strong bullish, goes inside, that's bearish consolidation, meaning that the price typically just going to go to the bottom. And unfortunately, that's happening right now. So Ethereum still remains extremely strong bullish. Please hear me like loud and clear. Yes, we're expecting a pullback. But yes, it's also looking really strong bullish. Look at this slow line just pointing up like it's incredible. But it's not a great way to go into the weekend. Now we have a CME close here at 43.38. Our low is at 42.89. So as long as Ethereum closes around this level, we won't have a gap. So if it closes a lot lower, then it'll be a bullish gap that will get closed as it pushes up on Monday. And yes, we still have a gap down here at 28.53. I think we're going to still be another, I would say 6 to 8 months until we fill that, personally. ETH BTC is holding above the 0.5 fib level. Yesterday, it actually closed up green. That means that while both Bitcoin and Ethereum didn't do well, Ethereum did slightly better as far as its pullback. So we were actually looking at ETH BTC still looking green. So that's good. It's above the 0.5 fib level. That's good as well. The slow line continues to move up. The only negative thing here is that we're seeing, again, these TBO Close Longs. These are part of the trending breakout indicator, or TBO for short. And these close longs tell us when to expect a bearish pullback or a bearish reversal. We actually saw these on ETH right over here. First on Tuesday, and we had two really close together. And I made a big stink about this on Friday's video yesterday, saying like, guys, well, we get a lot of these happening in a very short amount of time. We should be expecting some sort of a pullback, and that's what we're seeing. And I don't think it's necessarily over yet. For ETH BTC, I don't know. I really just want to see it stay above the 0.5. If it doesn't, it's not going to be good. We will be looking at the chart for Solana, but just to keep in the back of your mind, we have actually, I'm going to go ahead and just do this now to save myself a little bit of time. So our low, come on. Our low is at 202.70 for Solana. And I mean, what a day. It made a new all-time high, or sorry, not new all-time high, a local high at 220. And then it closed down, what, 7%, 6%? Crazy. Now, do you remember I was talking to you about the importance of stablecoin dominance? So looking at combined stablecoin dominance, we are unfortunately way above overhead resistance. This is bearish, absolutely bearish, really bad. This is not what I was wanting to see at all. If we look at RSI though, I'm actually happy with this. So while we're seeing a higher local high, for combined stablecoin dominance, we're actually not seeing daily RSI even get close to 70 yet. So when we see these diminishing highs, I honestly am like one of those crazy people. Yes, we're having a pullback. No, I'm not really that freaked out right now. If we see daily RSI, however, exceed the high set on the 19th of August at 71.37 over the weekend, it'll be bad. But right now, it's not looking great. Bitcoin dominance is slowly starting to solidify down here. I won't be surprised to see a TBT bullish divergence pop up here, maybe even a close short over this weekend, but we have to wait and see. But on the 4-hour time frame, we are seeing more TBO close shorts. That's the orange diamond that's appearing right here. Ethereum dominance, again, I've told you before, this one is very closely tied to the price action of Ethereum. So if Ethereum's not doing well, Ethereum dominance will most likely not be doing well. But any chart that stays above its cloud like this is still strong bullish, even with it dragging lower, like we saw back over here and in the middle of this month, and then pop. Solana dominance, again, looks great. Even though we closed red Friday, it printed a third TBO breakout. I actually expect Solana to continue doing well. Hopefully this isn't marking a top, but it is extremely overextended from the TBO fast line. The total E100 chart is really interesting right now. This is the dominance of the total market cap, excluding stable coins, below the top 100. How do I say this? Crypto total market cap excluding top 100 dominance. A terrible, terrible name. But I'm so shocked by this chart, and you guys should be too. Knowing how much red, how much blood I don't have to use this, it's been real. Blood we've seen on Thursday and Friday. This actually closed up 2% Thursday. Yesterday, it closed up 0.73%. Made a slightly higher local high here, which is great. I'm shocked that it's actually doing well. And again, this is confusing, knowing how bearish things are with our macros, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana's like it's following, but this, like all these low cap coins are bucking the trend right now, which is great. Now, oh, sorry, I wanted to show you this. On the 4-hour time frame for total E100.D, we are seeing some bullish reversal signs that would be denoted by the TBO close shorts, like back over here. So this is a great bullish reversal sign. For total ES, which is the total crypto market cap excluding stablecoins, ES, this on the daily is not showing anything good. On the 4-hour, nothing good. But on the hourly, we're seeing one lone TBT bullish divergence signal. Now, one's not enough, but if we see 2, 3, 4, 5 print over the weekend, that'll be a really, really, really great sign for a nice bounce at the start of the week. But something to keep an eye on. For the others chart, this one's also really interesting too. Again, nothing really good on daily, although the slow line is still ascending, which is macro bullish, even though it's in chop consolidation mode. But on the hourly, we're seeing another TBT bullish divergence signal, just like we saw back over here on the 26th this week. We saw the others market cap increase by about 6% and it lost some. So this is why I like this indicator, is that it helps like to provide like a ping pong strategy to see when we might get pullbacks, when we might get bounces. So we have another bounce signal right here. Now, the real thing that should have a lot of you worried right now, even though you're in crypto, is gold pumping. Gold is above, I would say, it's not long-term, it's short-term overhead resistance that was set over here in April, and then it was established here in June. We had a pierce and a pierce in July, another pierce here in early August, and now we have 1, 2, 3 days above. This level's done. So the fact that gold is pumping right now is actually a sign of worry. I know that there's a lot of fiscal uncertainty where people are believing that Powell is going to cut rates for the Fed at the next Fed meeting in September next month. It's currently August 30th, so that means we have a new monthly candle opening up pretty soon. September is historically red for Bitcoin. And if we're seeing gold pump, maybe people are front running the Fed decision and they're kind of cautiously bearish. So they just want to hedge their portfolio, but the S&P is also making new all-time highs. Like there's a lot of uncertainty right now. And the reality is that it can be confusing. It can be frustrating, but there is a better way. And the better way is through the better traders. So we have a back to school sale right now for 30% off of all of our courses, 50 minutes of financial freedom, mastering passive income, the smarter trader, and also just like a macro investor focused course called the complete cryptocurrency investor at Mastering Assets. But the best course for people to start with is 15 minutes of financial freedom. This one comes with one-on-one coaching. It comes with free bot signals on all trading. It comes with a 1-month trial to the Better Traders Club. It gives you ideas and strategies for passive and active trading. It comes with steps as well, talking about exit strategies for all these different things that I share throughout the course. It comes with a little segment on, or a module, I think is the right word, but for trading psychology and just understanding your emotions, how to pay attention to them, how to track them with our Better Traders journal. There's a lot of stuff, but the club is also a great resource to you as well. But I want to go back over here to TradingView to talk about today's charts. Wait, no, I'm not going to do that yet. I want to show you over here on AllTrade just to give you a quick heads up. So I still have my ETH BTC position open. I really wanted to close it earlier this week, but I'm just keeping it open. And I'm trying to keep an open mind. But again, still doing very well. I'm very, very, very happy with this position. Like there's nothing that I can really complain about. My Solana BTC position, super excited to see it hit my second take profit target actually. It says 4 because this position's been open for 207 days. Too long. But it's great to de-risk a little bit more. If it falls, I will be buying more. But as long as it goes below my break even, which would be a pretty nasty dip, I do think that SOL will continue to go up higher. And Pump, which we're going to be talking about in a minute, is doing really well. Had a great surprise move up yesterday, about 16%. And it hit, like if you guys are watching these videos every single day, you know this. So I entered a position 17 days ago. So what is this? This is the daily. So 17, yeah, right here. So I entered here on a breakout, took some initial profit out, bought some more on the dip, and it dipped more. But what happens, or rather not what happens, but the way that I trade is I really like to de-risk a position. So I enter here, take some profit, buy some more on the dip, and then sell my dip here when I finally retrace back up to my entry. And this has served me so well. You can see here's my average entry. but my break even is actually down here, which is awesome. So if I decided to close the trade right now, I could, but I'm also just going to leave it open because even if it falls down, I've untangled my funds from the trade. So if pump happens to go all the way down here to like 23.39, I'm just going to reinvest my profits from this that I've freed up down here to average down my break even more and sell in the bounce and just rinse repeat until I get a disgustingly amazing average entry. And again, this is why I love using alt trading. I teach you guys how to use it. So let's go over here and I'm going to go through today's picks. If you have coins that you're really interested in me covering, leave a comment. And I'm actually relying a lot on all of you. And I'm just realizing, no, I didn't save it. That's so annoying. So we do need to talk about Python first, or Pyth, or Pitiful. Maybe it's I'm not going to say any jokes. I'm just too tired. So let's start up here with ENA. So ENA Athena. This one actually is still pretty bearish. We have our TBT bearish divergences here. We have a cluster on last Saturday. TBO Close Long on the daily. It's been struggling inside of the cloud, but look, the one thing that's really interesting about this chart is that the slow line is moving up, so that's bullish-ish, even though the price is struggling. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, there's very clear overhead resistance that has been pierced multiple times, but not even closed on the 4-hour. And we also have a TBO close short, which is why this is an orange flag. So I would love to see more of these before I start to get really excited for ENA. Right now, it's really struggling with overhead resistance. Even though it's macro bullish, this is still not a good place to be inside of the cloud. I would love to see this push above and then smack this TBO resistance level at 79 cents or so. Say, another one you guys have been asking about a lot. I saw some news recently that, again, we're seeing so many of these crypto ETFs being, well, rather applications going through. And I saw one for Say as well. I'm like, Say? Really? Okay, I mean, I guess anything goes right now. Not really the best chart ever. On the 4-hour time frame, we have one TBO close short, but to be honest, it's in process of opening a TBO open short. Not good. Anytime the price goes inside the cloud, not good. I know the slow line is moving up. It is macro bullish. On the weekly time frame, it's really struggling a lot. 4 hours not looking great. It does have short-term overhead resistance. We just take these levels right here, like this, and just do a resistance fan. It's pretty rough. It's just not a really good looking chart. It reflects a lot of things, but the cool thing about these resistance fans, like this is the resistance fan. Let me go ahead and hide the TBO. So basically just doing these successively lower highs, it gives us some targets to watch out for a reversal. And we've seen this before with lots of charts, especially earlier in the month. So once we see this resistance level get hit, for Say, and hopefully it doesn't print an open short today, that'll be great. Now, PYTH, this one had an insane pump on Thursday. Almost, actually, it will close at 99%. It pumped over that. This chart is massively overextended, crazy volume yesterday and the day before, like 20x volume, which is nuts. Be really careful with charts like these. They're going to get whipsawed back and forth. They're great for trading if you know how to trade charts like this that are just super violent and volatile. But anything that looks like this on the single day, like anything that pumps too high too fast is going to come back to earth. And unfortunately, when we see something like this happen with good news, usually it's going to be a slow drag down, unless we're going to get some more bullish news with PYTH. But this is a very dangerous chart to be trading right now, so watch out. Arbitrum, this one was requested by you guys as well. Yes, we have a TBO breakout over here, but it's so separated for the first two, it's not really that great. Volume is kind of sort of meeting the moving average, which is good. RSI is showing a lack of strength, as is the prices inside of the daily TBO Cloud. But the main thing I'm watching for this chart is seeing it get closer and closer to long-term overhead resistance, breaking above this level, which is about 67 to 65 cents would be amazing for this chart. Link, this one had a drop of about 7% yesterday, closing inside of the daily TBO Cloud. Not the best news possible. And it's also below this overhead resistance level that we can't see on the weekly because of how I have things synced. It's not really a terrible chart, but I would love to see Link push up a lot higher. Unfortunately, I think we're just going to be chop solidating sideways for a while. We really want to see it hold above the 618. Aave, this one had TBO breakouts, 2 of them, and a rejection right below the 376. So we finally got it last Saturday. This is one we've been waiting on like Sandlot style forever. It has been a brutal chop. I don't like this chart. I don't think it's fun to trade. It's just too slow, not enough action. It's not really that bullish, to be honest, in my opinion. So just be careful. AVAX, again, another one you guys asked for. It's just a perfect example. When you see multiple TBO close longs like this on the daily time frame, you should be extremely cautious and careful because it's usually a signal that we're going to have a larger pullback. I know people like Avalanche, but I also think it's not unrealistic to see it drop down here to 1682 if things were to suddenly get really bearish for Bitcoin. So dip buy opportunity, maybe. Bio over here, this one is crazy, right? We saw this one just massively pump. I actually shared this one in a watch list for the Better Traders Club in July. And I didn't really expect it to shoot up like 400, 500%, which is insane. Beautiful TBO breakouts, just massive breakout, 94% move. Now it's finally touching the daily TBO fast line, which is great. So because it's had such a nasty pullback from its high up here at 32 cents and it's now down 51%, it's actually a really good setup for a TBO springboard bounce, in my opinion. So we could see Bio shoot up about 30%. I don't think, no, not that much, but it does present itself in an interesting way because it has retraced back down to its moving average. Radium, another one that you guys were asking about as well. This one actually has some pretty decent TBO springboard bounces where it just tags the fast line and it bounces back up, tags the fast line, bounces back up, drops below the fast line, goes back up, tags the fast line right here, goes back up. So again, it looks like we're going to be setting up for another one of those. So we're looking at the TBO fast line at about 341, TBO resistance at 3.874. For some not so great charts right now that are bearish, which is why they have pink triangles. ICP is just heavily bearish. It's extremely strong bearish right now, below the daily TBO cloud, below the weekly cloud. On the 4-hour, it's printing TBO breakdowns. These are the opposite of the breakouts. While it could be pinpointing the bottom like it did right here, I'm really cautious about this chart. It's just not in a good spot. It could go a lot lower. If it were to print a lot of these, like it did back over here in the beginning of the month, like see that cluster, the yellow tab, or like this cluster telling us where there should be a pullback. This one is letting us know there should be a bounce. I only see one of these, so we should be extremely careful. Research coin. So you notice there's a lot of these DeSci coins. Research coin, Bio, Sapien was another one that was asked. Research coin, I don't get the appeal. It's really crazy for trading, like 48% on Friday the 22nd. Crazy. But I'm not seeing any bullish reversal signs right now. It's kind of sort of at support, but very risky chart for holding. Good chart for trading though. I mean, if anything, I would be looking at the parallel channels that are here because that's what I'm seeing at least. So it'd make way more sense to wait for it to drop down here like 44 cents and then trade that range. That's how I would take it. Toshi, this one's a meme coin. Okay, so good example. We have a TBO close long. One's not good, but we wait for the price to go back up and tag the fast line. That's a closed level. Well, when we get lots of these in a short amount of time, not good. So this one is deep inside of the cloud. Yes, the slow line is moving up. That's a good sign, but it's a really rough looking chart right now. On the 4-hour TBO breakdown cluster, not a good sign. On the hourly, yes, we're seeing some signs that there should be a bounce, but it's not working so well on this chart. I think it's just because it's a meme coin. Now, last 4 charts, Crow, this one had a crazy 3-day pump of 150%. I am not surprised in the least that it's having a pullback. Yesterday, down 13.5%. Today, it's red as well. On the 4-hour time frame, it has tagged the TBO fast line, but be extremely cautious with charts like this that just had massive, massive pumps. While it could pump more, It's extremely risky to chase if you're not using spot and DCA. W, which I believe is wormhole. This one is weird, mainly because it had some very irregular volume. Volume yesterday specifically was, drumroll please, almost about 9 times the average, which is impressive. But we've also seen big spikes of volume with nothing that happened. So maybe there's some good news about it. Maybe, possibly, I don't know. But one good thing about this chart, actually the weekly is going to be a better way to see it, is that it already dropped down to its listing low right about here. And that's a really good sign, because when we see charts go back down to the listing lows, and you've already missed your opportunity to buy the absolute Pico bottom, even though it's still strong bearish. But this is a good sign that at least it's paying attention to chart fundamentals. The next thing to be paying attention to is, well, will it respect support resistance levels? Now, according to the weekly, we got some pierces of overhead resistance. If I were to go over here to the daily time frame and draw this out, we're going to get slightly different levels because of how, which peaks it's grabbing. So we can see we got a test, pierce, and we're above, and we got a massive pierce. So this is the only reason why I'm sharing this one, is because it is pushing on long-term listing levels on resistance. And it's a fairly new, not really, from what, April 2024? It's not that new. But when charts are massively oversold like this, it's not unusual to see them just absolutely go crazy when things turn super duper bullish. So being below the 236 makes it very, very, very interesting for a long position, even if it goes up to the 618, which is a good target. At least I think so, for like 400%. Sapien, this one is a new listing on Coinbase. I don't know why. This one's being requested. Maybe, I mean, it's D size, so people are probably excited about that. I'm not really excited about this chart personally. It did kind of sort of close above this first resistance level, but it's very much strong bearish on the 4-hour. Yes, it is showing a higher low here on RSI. So we have a low here at 1801, a low here at 1908. We're seeing a nice RSI reset. It's really risky though. Really, really risky. I would rather wait to see TBO close shorts or TBT divergence on the 4-hour. I don't see those yet. Last but not least, grass. Everyone just loved this chart. When was that? Everyone is like freaking out about it. Yeah, back over here in October 2024. People are making so much money with this, and here it is. But again, the good news is that we have a TBT bullish divergence signal. I know it's really very, very strong bearish. So I'm waiting for a TBO close short on this chart in order to get really excited about it. But this is still a great early warning signal that we should be seeing a bounce. And the truth is that these charts that get massively oversold, eventually they're going to reverse. They will. And it's when they do, it's going to be a hated rally, as we see happen over and over and over again. Guys, go to thebettertraders.com. If anything, just to look at my weird AI Harry Potter image. I think they said they're going to update it to a different image a day, maybe. But go there, save 30% on all of our courses. And I want you to watch this video. It's going to pop up right here that I shared last weekend. But stay tuned, because I have an amazing video that I have scheduled for tomorrow. I don't want to give anything away, but it's just, again, proof that crypto is insanely volatile, but extremely forgiving. Watch that video tomorrow. But until then, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.